Hello one, hello all. It is episode 38 of season 2 of Fab Life with Lauren and Lee. And we have another D to add to our combo today.
Oh my God, we do, don't we?
Fab Life with Lauren and Lee and D.
We clearly love the D.
Oh my God. Well,
Who
those three do.
doesn't?
Please welcome.
Someone who loves the D as well.
That's a vicious rumour.
Vicious actor and I would say humfluencer to the stars, Mr. David Ames.
We have a guest. We have a guest. So if you're watching on YouTube, hello, you can see the gorgeous, gorgeous David Ames. But if you're listening, you'll hear his dulcet tones. Give them the, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now,
wow.
we start this episode with a disclaimer.
Oh,
we started a little bit late. Not
it wasn't our fault.
Through any fault of our own.
We were actually early. That was the problem.
Which was the problem, yeah. So we've had a few drinks. So it could be chaotic, although it's always chaotic when we're sober. So
we might
this
just
could be
mellow
another...
right out.
Yeah, actually, this could be very serious.
Just chaos with a slightly longer S.
Yes, exactly.
A little bit more.
Or the tangents might come mid-sentence.
Exactly,
Yeah. Instead at the end.
The tangents will be plentiful.
Yeah, exactly.
And we have a glass of Prosecco with a gin and tonic chaser next to it.
That's how we roll.
Because that's classy gals get the hose.
Yeah. If our first sponsor isn't a gin and a tin, I will be like fucking gobsmacked. Because every week it's just like, and also we only get tagged in, we only get tagged in boozy videos now. And I'm offended. I mean, I'm not, but I'm like,
hold on, who's tagging you in them? Your family, your friends? Is it an intervention, actually, that you're just like, why are they tagging me in this? And they're like, seriously, you've got a bit of an issue.
Yeah,
you're like,
I mean,
oh my God, am I like, I look great there.
No, it's like, is that me? Oh no, it's not. I'm just got blurred vision because I'm hammered. Yeah, we do keep getting tagged in like booze memes.
Do we?
Yeah, I mean, it's on the Insta.
I had a message from a follower the other day, you know, in like message requests.
Yeah.
You often like, you'll go and see.
Turn them off.
Do you?
I had to.
Why? Were you getting abuse?
Yeah, from you.
Yeah, I was going to say, sorry about that.
Family, friends.
All those alts you have. You know, you just send the, you know, angry from Hemel Hempstead. How dare
No
you.
profile picture.
Yeah, exactly.
No, the profile picture is a car. It's
Yeah,
always a car,
exactly.
Always
isn't
a
it?
car.
Always a car.
Yeah, it's a
Or
car
like-
or it's like a Union Jack or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, okay, here we go.
Or they've got that temporary profile filter, you know,
Yeah.
that's
It used
like,
to be the
I
egg
support
on
the
Twitter,
forces.
didn't it? You
Yeah,
could always
the
tell if
egg.
it was the egg, you'd be like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Noob.
It's Jenny 43291624691, and you're like, oh, it's her again.
Here she comes with the numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
Attacking me.
And over to Jenny for the numbers.
Yeah, so I got one saying, I think you have a drinking problem.
No.
Yeah.
Well, cheers
I
to
stand
that.
by it.
And yeah, cheers. I'll cheers
Welcome
both my
to
I have
prosecco
to
and
tell
my
them to
gin.
go fuck themselves with
No,
both
I didn't
hands.
accept the request.
Guys,
Don't leave.
Oh, sorry.
You're like,
it's bad luck
wow.
to not
Look
cheer
in the eyes.
goers.
Look in the eyes.
Eyes,
Nobody
eyes,
wants
all
to ever
around the
use
eyes.
bad sex.
Anyway, we are recording, so
Yeah.
But
What did
yeah,
you reply? Did you reply?
I didn't reply. I just
Tell
read
them
it,
to
but
fuck
this
off.
was a while ago. And then when I fell. I don't.
You fell.
I fell. Yes, I fell.
Oh, I didn't read about this in the Daily Star or the Mirror or the Mail. I hadn't
not
heard
read
about
those
it. No,
lovely
I
tabloids?
hadn't seen Paula Rain racing after you.
To A&E. Yes, I fell on lube in a nightclub. Let's just
Twice.
get it out
We
there.
weren't allowed
Twice.
to say it was lube last week because you were like,
I wasn't ready to joke about it.
I wasn't ready to joke. And then, but you know what? All of my
Or with the
friends,
police investigating, I can't talk about it. I'm
There is a
afraid
claim
you'll
going
have to.
they were just throwing sawdust. Apparently that works on lube as well. You know, it's like throwing the sawdust down
Does
like they
it?
do on Sick.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wish there was fucking
Did
sawdust.
somebody throw it like Migs in Silence of the Lambs? Is that
Maybe.
what happened? Somebody just went,
yeah.
you were like, oh God!
Well, then when I fell, they were like, "I told you had a drinking problem." Like this is afterwards as well. This person,
Like the comeuppance.
yeah,
I do like the creepy voice you did as well.
I-
there. I told you had a drink. Like they were behind you.
I wasn't putting the voice on. That's
He's
just my
had a cold,
voice.
So sexy voice.
I told you had a drinking problem. Yeah, well, I assume he speaks like that.
Cool.
They definitely.
Also, is there a squeak going on with my chair?
I think it's you.
I've not lubed my chair up, have I? Oh,
I think you should.
Does it just drip out of me? Oh no, that's awful.
Is your coil interfering with the microphone?
Probably, yeah.
Got interference.
It is. Oh gosh.
My coil.
Anyway, we have a guest, guys. Put the drinks down.
Hello.
David, hi.
David, it's so good to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you
My
for having
first time
me.
meeting you as well.
I know. Why has that
mean-
been so late in happening?
And I thought your name was
blame
Seema all these years.
Seema. Yeah. I mean, that might be on my online name. Yes, Seema Divad. It's David Ames backwards.
That's his
Follow him
handle.
on Insta.
My
You already
handle.
do. Your
Love
handle,
handle.
babe.
So if anyone's watching on YouTube, they may recognise David from Holby City. You were in there. You were in Holby City for 9 years.
I was in it for the long haul, babes. Yeah. No, I was in it for
Dr.
nearly.
Dom.
I was. Well, I was Dr. Dom. Then I became Mr. Copeland because I became a surgeon.
Dr. Dom is also
And then I became a
one of his
consultant.
online
Right,
names.
You lose the doctor title.
Really? Is that what happened?
Yeah. You're a doctor up until you become a registrar or consultant, and you become Mr. again. Because years ago, when you become a surgeon, actually, it was kind of less prestigious than being a doctor. Because being a doctor, you were able to cure people. You knew medical knowledge.
Like
whereas
multiple.
Being a surgeon was like being a butcher. Years ago, it was like you cut this bit off, you cut that out, you do this, and so you didn't have the prestige of a title.
Yeah.
So that's why when going through medical school and that, you'll be doctor, and then when you hit consultant, you become Mr.
Oh my God! Do
I know.
you know like loads of random shit about being a doctor?
I
though?
do know
Because
loads
you're
of
always
random
like
shit about-
stats.
yeah.
You know,
And my friends,
IV
every
drip.
time, they'll be like, oh, I've got a little. I'm like, well, it could be pancreatitis. And they'll be like, oh, fuck off. Don't start. 3 weeks later, I went to the doctor, pancreatitis.
No.
And I'm like, you're welcome.
Right.
So,
Do
yeah.
they have doctors on set? We're just going to talk about
Yeah.
Holby, and they're just like consulting at all times. How does it happen?
When we were doing scenes where we were around the beds, we always had a nurse on hand. There was a wonderful woman called Lisa who was there the whole time I was there. Shout out to Lisa if you're listening to this.
Shout out!
Lisa was incredible, and for whatever reason we called her Nurse Joan. But I quite liked that. And Lisa would be on hand to show you exactly what you needed to do and at what time and how to take blood and how to do this and, all the technicals. But obviously there's a little bit of artistic license in there. And sometimes time-wise, we'd have a scene which was only a page long, which is seconds really in TV time. So you'd have to kind of speed things up. And
Blood out.
Well, exactly. Like,
Stab in the neck.
anyway, send that off to, I want FBC's you and it. Anyway.
Your results are back.
Exactly. Here on this iPad. And
I wish I was in fucking Holby City when I fell. Jesus Christ, it would have been so quick. 13 hours I was
In and out in 2
I could have done
minutes.
it with a Pritt stick and a staple gun
You
immediately.
could have.
Yeah.
You could have. What a shame. Wish Dom was there.
But yeah, there was always a nurse on hand. And then when we did surgery, there was always a fully qualified surgeon on hand as well to show us exactly what we were doing.
Wow.
And, I would have to, at the beginning, I used to have to get practice in doing stitching and stuff like that because on the prosthetics, which are so freakishly lifelike.
So you had all the gory, rib cage open situation.
Well, I mean, the amazing woman who used to, when I first started, who used to work primarily in our prosthetics department, ended up going on to win an Oscar for doing the Churchill movie with Gary Oldman.
Wow, congrats.
So,
That's amazing.
they were incredible on the show. They really were. They to all the videos in the background on the screens in the operating theatres were all done with prosthetics because they had to be very specific to what we were doing.
Sure.
So they look so realistic, and people would be like, "Oh my God, look at that! Is that like real footage?" And I'd be like, "No, they've."
Yeah, I would assume it was just like real surgery footage.
Exactly.
Did you ever get like members of the public? Because I've been with you before when you've been recognised. But do you ever get them when like they think you are qualified?
Mr. Dom.
I used to get quite a bit of people confessing things to me.
Right.
So
they
they'd
thought
be-
you'd taken the Hippocratic Oath. They were like, he can't tell anyone.
Exactly, he's sworn to secrecy. Whereas
Whereas actually he's an actor and he's a massive
I was
gossip.
like, what was that, Julie? Say it again. I'm recording it.
I've got blood in my stool, Dom.
Exactly.
What can you do?
Doc, I'm like, oh, you've not got long, babe. Yeah, no. It used to be quite strange. You'd get people talking to you on like Twitter and stuff, and you'd post something, and then somebody would say something like, I know exactly what you mean. I mean, but the other week I was in hospital having my gallbladder out, and you'd be like, oh, okay, well, I hope you're all right. But people suddenly sort of tell you when they were last in hospital.
Yeah.
It's a strange thing. It's like, well, you pretend work there. So I was last there doing, this, and I went and had my prostate checked.
I'm saddened I missed you.
Yeah, and I'm like,
obviously
okay,
your day off.
I hope you're okay.
Yeah.
I mean, all interaction is lovely. People engage with us, and
people are going, I've just seen
No,
a
it
picture of a lump.
always, not always. Like sometimes it's a little bit like, oh, that's a lot.
It depends where the lump is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Consult your GP. So,
I am not one.
I was going to say, so I've known you a while now. I've known you.
You have indeed.
Please, origin story, guys, because I actually don't know how you know each other.
In inaugural meeting.
I am trying to think. Was it 2018? It was, wasn't it? Yeah. So, Manchester Pride. 2018, August.
I think
bank
most of your friends
holiday.
you've met at Manchester Pride.
I accidentally stumbled across Manchester Pride. I wasn't meant to be
A
going.
swarm of homosexuals as you got onto the train.
No, so basically,
Just nipping in the Arndale for some bits.
I knew of you. I knew of you through a lot of mutual friends.
We followed each other on the socials and such, but it was a mutual of ours, Mikey Kenny.
Lovely Mikey.
Shout out to Mikey.
And so what was happening is he was in London at the time. David obviously lives in London. I was living in London, and we were all going to Manchester Pride. And
It might have actually been 2017.
Really? Oh wow.
I'm trying to think now. I think because Mikey lived in London in 2018, so maybe.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
well,
either way,
definitely...
no, yeah.
You probably lost
Either way,
because of Lee's drinking problem.
Well, absolutely, in my amnesia. But it was Mikey had said to me, "Are you getting the train up?" And I was like, "Yep." He was like, "What time?" "I'm getting 2:00." And I was like, "Okay, great, 2:00. Boom, I'll meet you there." So I got on the train. We're sat there in first class.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, back in the day,
it was gay Christmas. It's gay Christmas.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you gotta go all out.
days. You can't get
Listen. Like, this is in the time of Virgin controlling the trains to Manchester, which was a bit of a glory time. Which at the time we didn't think, but now things ain't so rosy.
We didn't know what
on
we
the
had.
route up there.
Yeah.
Not on the
We
west
had,
Avanti
did we?
coast.
Exactly. Well,
Avanti, if you're listening, sort your shit out.
Absolutely. But we were sat there, and he went, "Oh, my friend Lee's going to join us. I think he's running a bit behind." And we were thinking, any minute now, these doors are going to close. And all of a sudden, Lee appears through the doors,
basically, I
rushes in.
finished-
Sorry, guys. Sorry. So sorry.
I'd been there for half an hour. I just waited till the
He
final
just
minute.
loves an entrance.
Then he got ushered back to standard class as well. Just like, mate, this is not your ticket.
No, because the thing that was annoying was Mikey has a family pass ticket.
Yes.
And
He's got like a season pass.
a season pass
He gets like
that he can bring people on, and didn't think to tell me. So I'd fucking bought a first class ticket. He was like, "Oh, you could have just used mine." I'm like, "Oh, isn't that lovely to know?"
Does he still have it?
I believe so. Yeah.
Well, Mikey. Ben.
It is no, it doesn't
Hit
here
us up,
anymore.
babes.
Anyway, so
he's
we're on the train and we hit it off right away. It's like
Well, we're all
Chicago.
sat there, this little trio of witches, all the way to
Popping the
Manchester.
prosecco or whatever. Were you like drinking or?
Well, no, we were waiting. I'm glad
waiting.
you asked.
We were waiting avidly for the wonderful like northern mum that walked past. Who was like, "Are you right, love?"
Yeah.
And then
first class.
she
You should be able to
basically
get booze.
she sorted us out. So she starts plying us with bottles, and she's like giving us a little wink, adds a little extra one because she knows what weekend it is.
Because it means they have to come back. So they just give you an extra, don't they? Great, love that.
Absolutely. And
Love
we're
that.
only going to request more and spend more if
she's saving
buying us
herself
already.
a bit of time, isn't she?
Exactly.
Love that.
So she hands over several bottles of booze to me and Mikey, but she limits poor Lee.
It's that alcohol problem.
So what would happen?
I think somebody had pre-warned her.
She is Jenny 2546752.
I was going to
Really?
say exactly that person appearing behind you going, "You drink too much."
Yeah.
That was,
She's had a
I
car
think it
at the
is.
face. She's had a car
I think it's actually Mary from Salford, and she actually has been regulating you this entire time.
It was so odd because it was David and Mikey were sat opposite me. There was a seat of four. We were on a table. And what would happen is she'd put the drinks down and she'd give David and Mikey 2 little gins each and the tonics, and then just give me 1. It was the strangest thing. And I was like, oh, the first time I thought it's a mistake. And then she came back and they'd get 2 each. And I'd get the 1. And it got to a point where I felt like it was a personal attack.
Maybe she thought you were underage, so she was like...
No. She didn't think I was underage. Like, I'm not that delusional.
It exudes from you.
It was before the scar.
Well, exactly. I mean,
before the scar, before the beard.
It's aged.
Yeah.
Obviously.
But then I remembered, do you remember that guy that was like... started chatting to us and he was clearly a fan of you, but he didn't want to admit that he was a fan of you. So he was like, guys,
random selfie.
And then he was like, let's get a photo. So we were all like, oh, okay. So we all got a photo.
Lee tried to get in it, but he just literally was
we all got one. No, that's what happened. Me, Mikey, and David all got in the photo. We got a photo with this guy. And then he went, and then he looked at David and went, just one with me and you then. And then we were like, oh, okay, we get it. You just wanted it with David.
I think the one that you were in was literally you from like here.
Yeah, I looked like Phantom of the Opera.
It looked like Lee had won a competition.
He probably thought, oh, God love him, he's not had as many gyms.
Oh, bless. It looked like Lee was 3'4".
It was a real kick in the teeth because I was the sober one.
You can see what was
I mean, that's... I think that's up for the jury.
But yeah, no, thank you so much for doing this.
And then that was it. And then did you just like meet for drinks?
We've had some raucous nights.
We've had some wonderful, wonderful, ridiculous evenings.
And one of my favourite things is last year I went to Mykonos because I'm a cliche, and because David's also a cliche, I get a text saying, "Are you in Mykonos?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm in Mykonos."
Do you know what I actually did with that? So I was in the bath yeah, exactly. I am Julie 3/4 suit. No, I was in the bath at 7 o'clock on a Sunday evening, and I had booked time off from Holby.
Right.
And I knew it'd been the pandemic, so I'd not had like a holiday away since 2019. And I was.
Of course you hadn't. You've been busy in Holby, you know.
Well, you've been saving lives.
You've been a key worker.
We actually. You joke.
No, you have.
We were actually one of the first TV shows to go back after the pandemic. So we had to be 2 meters apart from each other at all times on set. I was doing my own makeup, my own checks, my own costume checks, doing my own mics and everything like that. Which sounds like, oh, my diamond shoes are really tight.
No, I can't imagine you coming out in
Is anyone else's heart breaking?
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I said. Like coming out, I've contoured. I'm like, hello. They're like, the lace front's a bit much.
Can we tone down the red lip, David?
Can we just tone? Do you need the beauty mark? I don't know. I'm like, it's an artistic choice. I think you should just let me decide on my character. Okay, you do your job, I'll do mine. Multiple jobs. But yeah, it was quite kind of crazy at that point. We had 4 months off. And then we were back by sort
really
of
not
August.
long compared to
other shows really took a little longer, but we just kept to the 2 meter thing, and that was right up until we left.
Jeez.
So for a year and a half, we couldn't get within 2 meters of each other on set. We had to work out a way of pretending to inject someone with shots and camera shots.
And they do it like layers,
and it's like a dummy.
Yeah.
I mean, there was some quite spectacular dummies. There was one which was I had to pretend to be me. And
a dummy pretending to be you.
I've set it up. You knock it back. Much like your drinks. You know you've got a problem. But yeah, it was quite a mad time.
Yeah. So go on. So Mykonos. So you were
Mykonos.
in the bath.
So I was then like, right, I need a holiday.
I'm going away.
I had booked this week off, and I thought I don't want another fucking holiday in my flat. Because I've spent enough time here. So I was in the bath at 7 o'clock on a Sunday night, and I'm looking through social media, and I'm toying with places I can go. And then all of a sudden, you appear on my Instagram going, impromptu holiday to Mykonos, what am I like? And I was like,
me too.
You know what? And I also knew my friend Ross would be there as well, because Ross he is wonderful. Shout out to Ross Lewis.
Oh.
He is incredible. And I knew he was going to be there because he tends to go over there, and he works with, there's a wonderful drag queen who works with Jackie Ozo called Athena Dion. who's incredible, and Ross goes and like does stuff with her, and I was just sat there and I just thought, actually, fuck it. Lee's going to be there for a couple of days. Ross is there. I was like, I'm going to go and have a big blowout in Mykonos, and like, you know, not been on holiday for a couple of years. The world has been imploding. Everyone thinks they're riddled with everything. So let's just fly somewhere and go and have some fun for a few days.
But don't you think that that was how the holiday felt? There was this, I mean, I had such a good time there. I'd had a really shit year, and I'm not coming to money, but I'd done a couple of gigs that had
and
paid
you finally
quite
felt like
well.
you had your own bit of cash in the pot.
Well, did I don't know if I've told this story, but on the way to the airport, I'd done this corporate gig beforehand, and I was like, and it paid quite well. It was quite a nice little gig,
and it was big. There was like
it was a big gig, yeah. And I'd not been working, you know, I'd struggled, and I get a message on the way to the airport saying, "Hey Lee, we've had a meeting about the corporate. They'd already paid me, by the way." And I was like, "Oh God, they're gonna say,
can
like,
you give us the money back?"
Yeah.
The reviews are in, and they're not good.
Essentially, that's what you think it was.
Was that what you were panicking?
Anyway, it was the very opposite. They said to me, "We've had a meeting, and like they were like, you made it, blah 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 blah." And I was like, "Oh, thanks so much." And they went, "So we want to give you a bonus." And I was like, "Oh, that's so nice." Thinking like they gave me double the rate. They gave me a massive amount of money. So on the way to Mykonos, I remember thinking, I'm going to have to be a bit sensible here. Like, I'm going to go, I'm going to have fun.
Yeah.
But
and then you were like, Jenny, face chins
well,
too.
yeah, so there's nothing worse on holiday when
and in Mykonos, where it's £35 for a cocktail. Exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And nobody goes to Mykonos and on a shoestring.
Yeah.
So I remember just being like, this is everything that I've been waiting for. I had such a good time. And then David texted, he said he was coming over. We bumped in. The thing with Mykonos is, like, you just bump into people. Yeah. You make friends. Although there were a couple of friends I didn't make.
I think we should bookmark that and come back to that. Absolutely. Well, no, that's basically... So basically, I saw your message. And I was like, do you know what? I'm in the bath on my phone, which I shouldn't do because I'm a real klutz. And I was just there, and I was just like, do you know what? Fuck it. So I booked this lovely hotel.
Gorgeous.
And
hot tub.
I had a hot tub on my little balcony overlooking.
I mean, if it's
I thought, fuck it. If I'm going to do it last minute, go bougie. But because it was last minute, you get a little discount.
Yeah.
Anyway, did that. Booked the flight for the following morning at about 9:30 a.m. from London City Airport.
Oh,
so
I love
within
City.
hours, I was on the plane, passport in hand, like. Loved it. Literally, I'm like,
where are you going? Me too.
Me too. So yeah, literally, like 14 hours later, I'm like, bye bye, and off I went. And then arrived, and I let Ross know that I was arriving. So we went for dinner that night, and then we ended up going out for a few drinks, and then we meet you, and it was just gorgeous. But Lee here. Let's talk about you threatening. By the way, for anyone who's only just listening to this, I just did the slit throat sign with my finger. I'm
gonna say, I think you might have told this story after you came back on the pod
really?
When we were recording remotely.
Possibly.
Were they in your seat?
Yeah.
And they pretended that they had the seat booked.
Yeah.
You had a vendetta against them.
Well, no. What happened was
it was Jenny 453267429.
It always comes back to her.
She was that
Tashi, our producer, is laughing. By the way, hi Tashi. We need to say hello to our gorgeous producer. I'm so sorry. Are you just sat here like this is chaos?
I'm loving it.
Basically, very long story short. Me and my friend Maurice, lovely Maurice, we're sat there, we're
crazy old Maurice.
Crazy old Maurice.
We're looking at the sunset. We've got a gorgeous view of the beach and the sea. And then up walks this guy who's like, you need to move, these seats are reserved. And I'm like, oh, okay, sorry. We'll just move then. And we got up and we moved to the seats opposite, which had our backs facing the sea. So we no longer could see the sunset.
Absolutely fuming.
And then like 10 minutes later, I'm looking at this guy that moved us over, and he's like stood at the seats that he was at before. So I'm like beckoning over to him, and I'm like, mate, what's going on? Like, why are they? Oh, no. And then someone else sat in the seats. That was it.
Yeah.
So I was like, what? And he comes up and he's like, oh God, sorry. Yeah, I basically was just stood with my friends. I was like, oh, I bet you can't make him go and move out of his seat. And I was like, I bet you I can. Watch this. And he was like, and like my lovely friend Maurice, who's so lovely, he was like, yeah, that's funny. And I was like, excuse me? I was like, you've used me as some sort of pawn in your weird game. And I was fucking, and I was like, and I went, who the fuck do you think you are? And he was going, oh, don't start this. Don't start getting all sensitive. But I went, and I was like, the Grimsby came out. I was so rude.
I would have.
Anyway, then as a joke, and I was a little bit drunk.
No.
As a joke later on, he saw me and he like waved at me. So I thought I'll try and break the ice a little bit. But what I didn't realize is this isn't breaking the ice. So I just like pointed at him, tried to do it ironically, and went, you. And then for people who are listening, I just did the slit throw action to him. Well, he did not take that well. Anyway, I remember David coming up.
Yeah.
I remember David coming up, and I was going, oh, well, David, I've just got this sensitive guy. I was like, I'm trying to have a joke with him. And he was like, why?
I mean,
what
all
were you
I
joking
did was
about?
threaten to slip.
Yeah, I did the slit
From
throat
across
side.
the room.
David went,
And
why?
he didn't find it funny.
Yeah.
I mean, get a fucking sense of humour. What's going on? Can you not threaten people with throat cutting anymore?
I thought Mick and
It's too woke. It's woke.
I tell you. He's so woke. Oh,
I never
God.
forget your face dropping, because I was like, all I did is like this slit throat sign. And then David
And I
was
just
like,
remember being like,
what?
You did what?
That's
and he
not
was like,
okay.
I just went like this. And I was like,
That's not okay.
Aggressive. Also, can I just discuss, when I first met you guys, I was running late because of the bastard tube delays. But when I came in, you went, shall we just go over to people and go,
I know, I
we've
just
got
thought-
a reservation? You were like, if we just went over to all these people who were sat spaced apart, we'll go, oh, guys, we've got a reservation for this time. Just look at the watch, you know. You've not
I
learned
had a friend-
anything.
No, but hold on, Lauren.
The abused
but listen.
becomes the abuser.
No, but listen. What would have then happened is I would have sat in the seats. I wouldn't have then gone, stood up and gone, oh, we're only joking. We just wanted you to move. Like, that's what was more annoying. I'm like, at least trick me.
You really needed the seat earlier. Yeah.
Anyway, then.
I had a friend who we used to dick about, and whenever we couldn't find a seat, we'd go and stand next to a table and just... It never worked, but we'd go and stand there, and we were like, let's just make them feel really uncomfortable by talking about things that are really gross. So we'd go near a table to try and make them move, and we'd be like, oh, how's the rash? It's still itchy.
Is it pancreatitis?
Is it?
Yeah.
But it's from skin to skin contact, isn't it? Yeah. So you probably shouldn't get really too near anyone, and with that, like you'd see
I'm just
people,
gonna lean
you'd
on
see-
this table.
Yeah, and then just go.
Yes, you could do that.
And then people were like, no. By the way, that's me. I was looking awkwardly.
Narrating
I
Really
forget this is.
flexing
I
those
forget this is
acting
vocal
skills.
sometimes.
We could do
Yeah.
that. I could go up and be like, oh, I know. I hope
I
this
think
monkeypox goes soon.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Really effective
I had my jab the other
post-COVID.
day.
Yeah. Oh, wowzers.
Do you
the big
bet for
guy.
community guys?
Guys, do
Yeah,
it. Get
it
your
looks like a
jab.
BCG one. I only
It
had it a
does.
week ago.
Did you go to Dean Street? Dean Street?
Where's that? Do I know Dean?
Dean.
Everyone knows Dean.
D-E-A-N.
No, it was at Chelsea and Westminster Hospital.
Oh, was it?
And I went all the way down there.
Oof.
But no, they were great. I was in and out in seconds.
Oh, fine.
So David, let's. I'm going to get this a little bit more back on track because
sorry.
we've.
Talk
No.
about
Have we wandered down a tangent?
We're always on a tangent.
We're queens of
Tangela.
the tang.
I wanted to ask-
Tangela Lansbury.
Obviously, you
Oh.
were
Sorry.
Wait, babe.
Tangela Lansbury. We've never.
Oh, my
we
God.
could call it Tangela Lansbury.
I cried, David. I cried. with
Because you
joy.
know, I don't know if you know, Lauren is a massive Angela. Well, was.
Tangela.
Is.
Well, do you know what I wanted to ask you? Actually, one of my questions was, who is your icon? Because we have quite clear icons: Adele, Angela Lansbury. Who was your
Ooh.
ride or die celeb, iconic woman?
I think I would have
Jackie
to
Stallone.
separate.
What would you say?
wacky.
Jackie Stallone.
I would have to separate them by subjects that they were like, whether it's
Sure.
film or music.
Okay, let's go pop.
Pop music. Pop music. I'm a massive Prince fan.
Right, okay.
Was always a very big Prince fan, and Kate Bush.
Right.
Film. It's not unusual for anyone who follows my social media to know that I'm massively fond of like Death Becomes Her.
I was going to talk about this because let's talk about Halloween as well.
Yeah.
Because
bookmark that.
Yeah.
Bookmark that. But so Goldie Hawn movies. Like I love Goldie Hawn. I love like Robin Williams is probably my big one.
Yeah.
Robin Williams is what made me want to be an actor, and that was watching Mrs. Doubtfire.
I think he's what made me want to be a comedian.
Yeah, because his ability to make you absolutely howl with his energy and his ability, his dexterity with language, his accents, his voices, everything. But like in Mrs. Doubtfire, which was the film that made me go, I want to do that.
Yeah.
By the end of it, that little moment where he goes, but Katie McCormick, as long as you've got love, those are the ties that bind. You'll be all right, Poppet. Bye-bye. I was like that. I was, what,
You're in
11 or 12? I was like that. I was like, oh, God.
You're in
and I just thought, I remember thinking to myself as an 11, 12-year-old fledgling young actor, fuck, if you can make somebody howl with laughter but then cry within the hour, what a fucking gift. What a wonderful thing to tell a story, to change people's perceptions, to change people's minds through a story and everything like that, and do it with the ability to. You're right there, darling. It was your earring catching.
Sorry, I was.
Yeah, what a fucking wonderful ability.
Oh.
What an incredible talent. And that was when I went, boom. That's when I
want to act. That
Absolutely.
was one of the questions I wanted to ask you.
So Adele. And Angela Lansbury, Robin Williams.
Do you have a telly one though, just to complete the little trio there? So we had pop, film. What about telly? You know, we were on about just earlier. We were on about like 70s nostalgic telly.
I mean,
because obviously Murder She Wrote is like.
Of course.
She encapsulates.
I mean, listen, like favorite series, Golden Girls.
Ah,
Golden Girls. Like, give me some of the Golden Girls.
Yeah, you saw it.
So, like. I'm constantly sending memes of the Golden Girls between me and friends of mine. We're constantly.
They've had a bit of a resurgence. Actually, in lockdown, they were showing a lot of the Golden Girls on Channel 5.
All the series are now on Disney Plus, babe.
Are they?
Get with it. I had them on box set.
Oh my God.
But no, I've got a few friends. Actually, pick up a name. Alan Carr loves them as well, and we send each other memes occasionally of like different random silly things.
So good.
So it is something like me and my friends, they all know that I'm obsessed with every episode.
You can watch it over and over again, and also it's kind of timeless because I've watched many interviews with Betty White, and she was just like, there were so many moments where we were talking about old women having a love life. It just wasn't happening.
No.
Like they are the main part in that show. It's incredible.
Hold on to something.
Yeah.
But the girls in the Sex and the City reboot are now older than the girls were in the Golden Girls in the first series.
No. Are you fucking joking?
That is how the perception of women in television has changed.
Yeah.
But also how good surgery is now.
Yeah. CGI has come on massively.
Honestly,
But no, it's true. It's how crazy is that?
Incredible.
Blanche and Rose and Dorothy were all younger than the women are in. What is it called?
It's called Just Like That.
Just like that. Just like that.
Just like
that's it. Yeah.
Insane.
Well, listen, I wanted to talk because you mentioned Death Becomes Her.
Yes.
Yes.
And when we did Halloween, where we basically won Halloween.
Yes, we did.
Were you together when you were Elizabeth?
Yes.
And I was Meryl Streep in Death Becomes Her.
Backwards Head.
Well, at one point, I was going to turn my bra around in the catsuit that I had on.
I think that every Friday night.
And I had a padded bum that I was going to put on the front.
Sure.
And be like, Ernest, I can see my ass. You pushed me down the stairs. And you were sat there regally.
I don't think you could
as
sit
Queen
in that
Elizabeth.
outfit. Yeah.
I mean, it was incredible. He looked insanely brilliant. I remember coming over to your flat before we went over to a particular popular private members club for the evening.
Honestly, I've got my dustpan and brush out with you too because the amount of names are fucking dropping tonight.
Just put down a bit of tarts
we
and
can't
we can
tell
pick them all up
story.
afterwards. And yeah, we went over there and I just remember coming to yours and like I'm trotting around in these heels that I can't walk in properly, adjusting one tit at a time. And
Meryl wouldn't do this.
No,
Meryl
exactly.
Would not do this.
I have a photo.
This kind of shit.
I have a photo of us too, and it's
it's
with
brilliant. It's
but
brilliant.
I was going to say you recently went to Jonathan Ross's iconic Halloween party. Now he has one every
Big
year.
news.
Isn't it like the biggest showbiz Halloween party of the year? And you went there. What can you tell us about it? Or are you sworn to secrecy?
Can you not remember anything?
Is there an NDA?
A little bit from column A, a little bit from column B. I went along. Alan invited me, bless him, and just said, do you want to come along? And I was like, great, I'd love to. So he said, listen, it'll be me, you, and we're going to go with Paloma Faith. And we're going to go and get dressed up, and we're going to go as the twins from The Shining, but we're going to do a triplet version.
Yeah.
And I was like, fucking wonderful.
Great.
How wonderful. So
sorted.
So yeah, sorted, done. And it was just a brilliant night. I mean,
all looked incredible. Like
it was all done wonderfully professional. That's big shout out to Paloma Faith and her team who helped us with all of that. That was absolutely stunning work.
You couldn't tell who. I mean, like if you
no
told
one
me that was
recognised Paloma
I was like,
outside.
no way.
Well, is it that thing where you're at the party and you're just talking to someone and then like
exactly that? You're at the and you're like la 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 la, and as you walk over, you go, that was Mel C.
yeah. Do
you know what I mean?
What did she go as?
like, oh,
did she go as like Victoria Beckham or someone?
Can you imagine? Yeah.
Just a different Spice Girl each year.
Right.
But yeah, it was a bit like that. And you kind of walk away and you're like, oh shit, I was just talking to so-and-so. And you're like, oh God. Like,
what did Jonathan come as? What was his,
He was the Babadook.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No way. And what was like
dressed...
his wife and like the kids and stuff? Were they all
I didn't see them actually, to be honest. It's all, do you know what? You're in such a tiny space, and by the time you arrive, and with Alan and Paloma, we had a couple of drinks at Paloma's. Got in a cab.
Did you have Palomas at Paloma's?
Oh,
surely she should have made a Paloma.
She must be fuming at bartenders offering her that, and she's like, I don't like tequila.
We did stop off in Clapton and got in a service station.
Of course you did.
Got
a couple of cans for the journey.
They're of the people.
Absolutely. Well, exactly. No, literally. There's me, Alan, and Paloma in an Esso.
To be fair, you three are so fucking.
Stella,
to be fair, you are common at heart.
Exactly. Listen. I can do all I can, but right down there, I'm common at heart.
But no, I live right by that Shell garage.
Do you?
I do, babe. Honestly, I know the Shell is on about.
Well, if you hang around there next Halloween, you might get a glimpse of.
Yeah, tell Paloma. That's the celeb you do see around where I live, actually. Well, you do. There's lots of celebs who live East London, but you do see.
Well, she was incredible, and she was so kind and lovely, and she and Alan were great, and we had such a blast. We had such a nice night.
You looked amazing.
It was, we did. What was wonderful was no one recognised her whatsoever until we were walking down
in the Shell.
We were walking down the street, and everyone was going, Alan, 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 Alan. I was just there holding my bag, just swinging it along, looking like one of the Bradys. And then Alan just sort of went, nobody even knows that's Paloma Faith over there. To which all the paps, when they're like, oh my God. But she looked so good.
Yeah,
she looked so good. Like, it was wonderful. But yeah, we just had the best time. But it's one of those parties that, I mean, like, listen, I only went because, bless Alan was like, listen, come along to this, it'll be a good laugh. And I had a really brilliant time. It was.
I love that Alan was in full costume, but people still knew it was Alan Carr.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you two were like, no, we don't recognise them.
Well, I think we had
time.
posted a couple of little things on social media, literally in the car en route. So whether somebody was really hot on it, I don't know, but like...
Or whether he just went, excuse me. Like,
I mean,
his
just
voice
opened his
gives
mouth.
him away.
I was going to say, there's certain people that even when, during the pandemic, if they wore a mask,
Yeah.
you'd know it was them as soon as they spoke.
Yeah. Very quickly, because I wanted to talk, there'll be people listening to this who, obviously you're an actor. How did you get into acting? Like, you spoke about Robin Williams, you saw that. Where did you train? Like, you obviously
I grew up in Winchester in Hampshire, and I went to Peter Symonds College and did a A-level there in performing arts, and then I went on to Middlesex University, and I did a drama and theatre degree there, and then I was going to do an MA, and in that time, in deciding, excuse me, I got into a show just randomly, and it was through that there was a girl who said, "Listen, I've recommended you to my agent." I was the only guy in this show that didn't have an agent, and that's my agent now. And I managed to bypass all of that and go, okay, and straight into having an agent. So I was like, well, save myself the money of doing an MA and see how this goes.
And is there any job that you would do if you weren't doing acting? Was there anything that you wanted to do, or was it just the calling?
I love language. I love accents. I love dialects. I love... Thank you.
We need to get some impressions. Go.
That's something I love. Like, if anyone's listening who wants to employ me to do voice work for Disney, Pixar,
He's here. He's ready.
That was the dream. As a kid,
my
mum would always say to me, "You're weird."
I think
I want to prove my mother wrong.
Exactly. But she would say to me, the voices, with Disney's, I'd sit there, and even as a pre-secondary school kid, I'd go, "Do you realise the Cheshire Cat is also Winnie the Pooh?"
You knew. You could hear it.
I knew I could hear it, and I knew it was a guy called Jim Cummings, who was the voice of the Cheshire Cat. He was also the voice of Kaa the snake in the Jungle Book.
Yeah.
He was also the voice of the Firefly from Princess and the Frog.
It's like being with Wikipedia.
He was also Tigger.
No.
So he did all these voices, and I would sit there, and I had an ear for listening to
of course.
impersonations and for voices, and I would just be like, "That's that guy, and that's the guy who did," and I could. And my mum was just sat there watching
like,
with me, and would be like, "Why? How do you know? Why are you bothered?" And I was like, "Because people that can change their voice like that fascinated me."
Yeah.
Watching the Royal Variety performance, my favourite bit would be if somebody did
the impressionist.
Yeah.
I was always like,
It's
and
so
to
impressive when
like
someone can do impressions.
Alistair McGowan, Ronnie O'Connor,
Yeah.
You've got Rory Bremner and all these amazing people. I was fascinated in watching somebody not change physically, but suddenly just sound completely different.
Yeah.
Or the absolute spit of someone else. And I'd be like, it was like, witchcraft. It was incredible. And I've always been fascinated with it.
Can you do an impression of me?
Ooh.
That's very hard. Your accent is all over the shop, though, I think.
Yeah.
It's northern.
It's all over the shop like a mad woman's piss. I would say...
You'd have to study it.
I'd have to study it and get the accent down pat. You've got a certain mannerism.
Yeah. So my friend Toby
mannerisms
once...
help, right?
Yeah. Well, everyone has manner, and that's the thing with voices, is learning the way that the rhythm of someone. It comes from the physicality of someone.
Yeah.
So I remember, like, I've watched so many fucking things on this. I love it, but watching certain actors who have really prominent voices, like Al Pacino's one of the ones that people do impressions of, because he's got that voice that's down there, and he sounds like, but watching the physicality of it, because if ever you watch like Seth MacFarlane from Family Guy, or Nick Kroll from what's that show? The one all about puberty on Netflix.
Oh, Big Mouth.
Big Mouth.
Yeah.
Nick Kroll on that. Their whole body changes when they're doing these voices. and then they're going, oh, yes. And it's like the whole physical, and that's the thing. So you've got to watch somebody's physicality before you try to imitate them.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's, yeah.
Well, we don't have a lot of time left. We're wrapping up soon. I wanted to very quickly ask, which is something that we have asked before, and we often do. We've got our quick fire questions that we'll end on. I want to know.
Oh, yeah.
We've
This
done a
is the
couple
big
of
thing.
episodes of this. What would you put in your room 101?
Ooh, how many things do I have?
You have as many as you want, although not
Babe.
loads because we're finishing.
Celery.
God, no.
I love celery.
Absolutely not.
You hate it.
Stringy demon. Absolutely not. No,
Would
it's
you ever order Bloody
disgusting.
Mary and then just like take it
I'd never
out?
order a Bloody Mary.
No,
Tomato
really?
juice. Yuck. Gone.
Oh, get them spices
Dead.
in there, babe.
Like Bloody Mary, basically tomato juice, no. Celery, no. Tabasco, no. Like,
Vodka,
all
yes.
of them. Liam Barron's, no. None
Just
of it.
give me the vodka,
Worcestershire
yeah.
sauce, no. Just give me a vodka shot.
I'll have vodka with a dash of pepper.
Vodka
Yeah.
with a Barocca in it.
Yeah, yeah,
There
yeah.
you go. A Barocca and a Solbadine. That, by the way, is the best.
Oh,
liqueur.
Well, you once told me.
Solpo,
What did
yeah,
you once tell
quick
me it was
Solpo.
Ribena and.
Get yourself an orange juice or like a sugary.
Listen,
like
we're moving
Ribena.
on to hangover cures
Yeah,
now.
quick cordial drink.
Solpadine, a dispersible Solpadine
Yeah.
with a Barocca
That's what
in
you
it.
told me then.
Maybe a Dora Light if you need a little bit of like the salts. if
I
you've
always
been a
need
bit
the
poorly.
salts. I love the salts.
Bit of the salts in a sugary drink. Neck that, and it's like gummy berry juice. You'll be like,
Dead
within
sweet.
20 minutes, that'll be it. You'll be like, boom, done.
Bottomless brunch. Hey, I'm
Yeah,
here.
exactly. But yeah, room 101, celery.
Celery.
wonderful.
Celery.
dinner, okay. Well,
I'm not a fan of a Bloody Mary. I just can't do them.
Okay.
No.
That's
Okay.
We'll put them in the same box.
What else? What else do I despise? The smell of like bad smells. I can't hide my face.
Do you know what? I'm with you on that. And I think like my husband Freddie always says to me, he's like, your senses are like next level. And often if something even like goes beyond that where he's like, it needs a bit of salt, I'm like, no, there's like a turmeric in there. And he's like, how can you taste that? But he can't, it starts with smell.
Yeah.
And I am like, literally someone has got a whiff of BO and I am like,
I can pick it up. It's like cheese and onion crisps.
yeah.
Oh, no,
I am
yeah.
like,
It's like
someone
smelling an
needs a
onion.
shower.
It's like, yeah, I'm the
Yeah.
Tashi, what about you? Do you have anything that you'd put in room 101? I'm just firing it out to our producer, Tashi.
You must have something to.
What?
same.
Liver?
Liver. Organs.
Liver.
Eating organs.
Liver.
Well, I'm
I was-
pesky. But did you have to have it as a
I'm
kid?
pesky. Just like, well, you pesky kids.
A pesky kid.
I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't
those
for
pesky
you
kids.
pescatarians.
Yeah.
I'm pesky. It's like, this is
pesky.
about Tashi right now, Lauren.
That's actually not pesky, all right. Liver, did you have to eat it as a kid?
Do you know what? I took some friends round to a family friend's house, and she just came out with the aperitif was a plate full of liver.
Nay, nay.
And then none of my guests wanted to eat it, so I felt obliged. like,
What, to just gobble up a couple of livers?
yeah,
Like Hannibal Lecter.
yeah.
She was like,
Did you have a nice Chianti to wash it down?
yeah.
How?
Where-
why? And why? Does
At what point
why
in the
is that
evening did the
appropriate?
fava beans come?
What did Mick say to you? What did Mick say to you, Tashi?
Oh, is serving liver. Was it liver pate?
No, it was pieces of liver.
No.
See,
no,
okay,
this is a freak.
I say that organs, no, but liver pate. Actually, I don't mind liver
No,
pate.
me neither.
anything
I
with
like
pate.
liver
Pate,
pate.
as long as I'm not getting the texture of. See, I'm funny with textures.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't mind organs if they're blended.
Exactly that.
You know?
Absolutely. If I don't get the texture of the organ, I'm fine. The flavor, then I'm like chef's kiss.
Can you imagine going to a dinner party though, and they'd be going like, normally you're used to like maybe a prawn or a bit of cheese on cracker, and they
Liver
come out with
slice.
full livers. You know,
I know,
just
I
like,
know.
Oh, have a
It's
cheeky
like-
liver.
Yeah,
Oh, you're
it's
here.
not, it's not the
With your
crudité that
martini.
I'd like.
Chicken livers shit.
Chicken liver, you dirty.
Don't you start with me, love.
Right.
See, we've not had enough impressions tonight. Quick, just do a Paul O'Grady for us.
Oh no, because he might listen to this.
I hope he does.
No, basically, I realised I could do a Paul impression, which I think I have told him.
You must have done it in front.
No,
of
I got
her.
asked to do a Liverpudlian accent for a rehearsal, an audition once, and the only way that I could do Scouse
Was
accent,
being Paul O'Grady.
I can only do it if I go down. So I ended up going down there like that. Do you know what I mean?
It is Paul, isn't it?
And there's no way I can do Liverpudlian without dropping down like that. So I ended up doing that. And I was talking like this, talking to someone. And they literally just stared at me like
It's
I
not
was-
Lily
my
Savage.
like I was possessed.
I've
And they
just
were
had
like,
an amazing
do you
idea.
realise how much you sounded like someone? And I was like, no. And they were like, Paul O'Grady.
I've just had an amazing idea. There needs to be a biopic of Paul O'Grady played
And you
by
could-
Oh,
David
please,
Ames.
no, you'd have to get a proper Scouser. I couldn't do that.
No, you could. You're
have
friends
to
with
go
him,
full
darling.
Scouse.
He'd want you to.
Full Scouse.
Right, listen. Thank you so much for coming. This has been
please,
utter
this has
chaos.
been Good luck sifting through it.
Yeah,
But
he's
we
gotta do
have
it
to
drunk
end
tonight.
on our we have to end on our quick fire questions.
Yes.
Yeah, are you ready?
Do it. Come on.
Shall I just do them all?
We do this with every
I'm gonna
yeah,
brace
yeah, do
myself.
them all 'cause
Every
I don't
guest.
have them.
Okay, you ready? You got to just answer.
And this is called On the Rocks or Straight Up. Or is it Straight Up or On the Rocks?
Are you the guy from X Factor?
I've played
Yeah,
the wrong
yeah.
jingle.
Yeah.
They are.
On the rocks.
Oh my God! Straight up or on the rocks?
That's more butch than you've ever sounded.
Thank you.
Love
His
you.
face changes.
I know.
Okay, are you ready? Quick fire. Night in or night out?
Night in.
Oh, really? Cocktail or fizz?
Cocktail.
Film or theatre?
Film.
Pepsi or Coke?
Pepsi.
Lights on or lights off?
Off. Candlelight. Candlelight.
I'm a candlelight body.
Scented candle. I like a scented candle.
Lumiere.
Lumiere. Lumiere.
Where's Jerry Orbach when you need him? City break or pool holiday?
City break.
It's pool, not poo.
Or a pool holiday.
Poo holiday.
Oh,
He is working class. He knows other accents.
exactly. City break.
Beyonce or Adele?
Adele.
Oh, thank God. Dress up or comfies?
Comfies.
Dance or sing?
What?
Dance or sing?
Oh,
What?
sing. I don't dance.
Oh, do you not?
No,
Oh, okay.
No, I look like
Strictly.
a spider trying to get out of the bath.
Strictly, if you're listening, he needs a bit of training. He's
She-
ripe for it.
You nearly said rape.
I nearly said rape.
He's
Wow. Wow, it's taken a turn, ladies and
Exclusive,
gentlemen.
David.
Oh my God. The Mail on Sunday.
He
is
do
coming
what
thick
for
and fast.
it? Oh my God! Mail on Sunday. Absolutely.
BBC's David Ames would rape for Strictly. Like
Fucking
the
hell.
headline.
Absolutely. Wow.
I've been double fisting, guys. Can you blame me?
Oh.
You know what that means?
Yeah,
Both me and Lee
sorry.
looked away then. We were like, can't look you in the eyes. right now.
Possibly know what you're talking about.
Absolutely nothing. I've never seen that Tumblr. That was going a bit retro there. Tumblr's dead. now.
Tumblr.
She's dead for porn now.
Yeah, no. No one posts those
No.
thirsty pics on Tumblr anymore. Do they? God
No,
love
I
'em.
miss it.
I miss
It's all
it.
OnlyFans now, and I ain't paying for that shit.
R.I.P. So it was dance or sing, and you said sing. Okay, top or bottom?
In the middle.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Sweet or savoury?
Oh. Quickly. Sweet.
Oh yeah, you want to be.
Yeah.
Morning person or night owl?
Mornings are dead to me. I hope I never see one.
Yeah.
No, night. All night.
And last but not least, straight up or on the rocks?
The rocks.
Mm.
Just chill it for me a
rock.
little smidge before I
Yeah,
neck it. Do you
yeah.
know what I mean? I do,
But
straight up.
A chill
no.
on the lips, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I like a little bit of like us tonight, trying to find that prosecco. Do you know what I mean? Lee spent about 40 minutes looking for a cold one in that fridge, and
Oh.
that's the thing. We like it cold.
We
We
do
like
like
and
it
it's
cold.
fair.
We went into Waitrose and, well, as
Other
Lauren calls
supermarkets
it,
are
the
available.
Trows.
The Trows.
She calls it the Trows.
All
The
fab
Trows.
lifers know it.
And
as
they
the
weren't
Trows
cold.
now.
Prosecco wasn't cold, so I was like feeling it up.
Hello.
I used to work in a supermarket, you know.
It looked like
Tesco.
you were trying to take the pulse of each
I was
bottle.
like, yeah.
No.
yeah.
No.
We've got a cold one,
We
guys.
got a cold one.
Bring it to the front.
David, thank you so much for
It
coming
has
on the
been a
pod. We're going to probably go and carry on drinking and...
Not that we really touched the stuff, to be honest.
No, we
we
are.
don't.
So
It was
we
all
don't
an act.
Condone it.
It's all an ad. This was seltzer.
It's been delightful to see you.
And
Thank you for coming on. You must come on
you so
again.
much. Thank
You must come on.
Oh, I would love to.
I think David would be a fantastic co-host if we ever need a co-host.
Oh, I'm thinking we're ringing you.
If you're ever busy.
Yeah.
If you're ever busy off doing other things, you know, swanning around
people.
Soho farmhouses, then, you know, I'm here. I'm local. She's local. So, yeah, no. Honestly, it's been such a joy.
Thanks
So much.
Thanks for coming down. Thank you, Tashi. Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Tashi.
And yeah, this has been episode 38 of Fab Life with Lauren and Lee. If you haven't already, do leave us a nice review. We reached over 100 reviews.
We have on Apple,
was-
and Apple still owns the field, if you know what I mean, of podcasts. So
Yeah.
it really makes a difference if you give us 5 stars and leave a little review like fab stuff. If you're going to leave a 1 star, don't do it. We'll never sleep.
Don't worry.
Do it or we'll find you.
Leave a comment on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube. It'd be nice to hear from you, what you think of it. And on Instagram as well. Lauren is
I'm in the DMs, guys.
manning the DMs.
I am in the DMs.
I do go
So
on there
fun.
sometimes, don't I? I do the wrong font. I do the wrong branding. I say all the wrong things. But I pop
What are
on.
you using, like Windows 95 or something while you're trying to do it?
I like to think I'm like, oh, I can't.
Oh, what am I like? I put clip
Even though I'm on my
here
own
again.
Instagram.
Yeah, it's like, oh, the views are good. Our Fab Lifers are really hilarious actually on Insta. So whenever we do a story, they'll often reply being like, looking great. Or like someone this week tagged that ABBA video because I talked about going to ABBA with my mum last week. And they were like, just looking for Lauren and her mum in this video, lol. But the week before when Lee had fallen over, I had a really bad cold. And I'd put it on the gram being like, so sorry we didn't do a live this week. We were going to go on Instagram live. Someone replied going, he's always got a one-up you, hasn't he? Always got a one-up you.
You were like, yes. Yes.
Lauren's got a cold. I've smashed my face.
Yeah.
in.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's basically, the DMs are just trolling Lee. It's fantastic.
You come in looking like dear Evan Hansen. You're, just,
Yeah.
you're like,
Simulcast.
listen, you think your time was bad.
Look at me.
I've lost a limb.
Well, until then, it's been our gorgeous guest, David Ames. Can we have a round of applause? Thank you very much. This has been
Thank you.
episode 38 of Fab Life.
With Lauren and Lee.
I think we